in the 6th century, but you would see that after 200 years, after the death of Prophet, they invaded almost half of the world. It was like this military success, and their aim was to invade Constantinople. So apart from 7th century, I could say, they started attacking these Greco-Roman cities that we have here. So they were just like progressing slowly, okay? So the Byzantine Emperor in Constantinople, he asked for help to Pope. Asked the Pope if he could send some armies in order to help to defend the Byzantine borders, okay? And the Pope was also willing to, intervene with this Islamic progress because they were invading more and more Christian territories. So they had this idea of invading all the eastern part of the empire and gaining the control of Jerusalem. Because after 200 years of the death of Muhammad, Jerusalem fell to the Muslim people. They were governing in the area and they founded their own empire. So the main idea behind the Crusades was to create this powerful military force that would leave Europe, cross Constantinople, then go to the Jerusalem and also take Jerusalem and put it under the Christian control again, okay? And they tried to do it many times. We have more than one crusades that happened in different times. In one of the crusades that destroyed this church, okay, they asked help from Venice. During that time, we're talking about 13th century, 12th century, Venice was quite powerful. They were merchants, they had colonies in all around the world, and they had enough money in order to create a huge fleet, okay? So, some European leaders in the 13th century asked Venice to produce some ships so they can attack the Muslim territory from the sea. And they made this huge order, if I'm not wrong, like 400 ships, okay? So Venice was quite willing. They saw a lot of opportunity. They thought that they would get their money back and they constructed this huge fleet. But then it turns out that the European countries does not have enough funds in order to cover the expenses. Okay, so this army that they created on that period in order to invade the Muslim territory went ballistic because they didn't have any money. They wanted to cover their expenses and they start attacking all around, including some Christian countries. Okay, they sailed from Spain and came to the Croatia, for example. Croatians thought that, wow, these are, Christian people, they wouldn't harm us. They didn't even defended themselves, and this crusade army entirely pillaged all of Croatia because they wanted to cover their expenses. They owed money, a lot of money that they spent for the preparation of this war. So this act that began in order to control the gain of Jerusalem became this very lucrative military campaign for most of the European forces because they were pillaging every country that they went. And they destroyed Hagia Sophia, they destroyed Constantinople, they destroyed Nicaea. They basically destroyed every city that they were on their way, okay? And Ephesus was no exception. So the church of St. John that we have here was also destroyed by this pillaging when Crusaders passed from here, okay? And in some of the Crusades, they actually succeeded. They took the control of Jerusalem for like 100 years, and they lost it again. So they tried taking Jerusalem many times. Actually, that's why we have so many crusades, and most of them were quite destructive. They basically destroyed everything on their way. Yeah. What happened here is nothing. What happened in Constantinople is a lot more sad. They destroyed these Orthodox churches. They destroyed these Greek icons that were created like 2,000 years ago. So it was quite damaging. Yeah,
did he ever
to most of the cities.
Did he ever apologize?
No, they did not apologize for anything.
Oh, wow. It's a war. Yeah,
it's a war, yeah. And it made a lot of people rich, because imagine that you're living in Europe, you have this tiny army that you could send. You were able to collect 1,000 people, let's say, to an army. From every city that they pillaged, they used to get their percentages. So it was quite lucrative, because these Byzantine churches that they have on the go, they are filled with gold, silver, precious materials and stuff like that. So it was quite sad actually what happened between 11th and 14th century, I would say, in the entire territory.
And they always said in the name of Jesus.
They did say that, yes. The reason behind that was to gain control of the Holy Land. You will find another castle right now. Can you see it on your left?
Yeah.
On top of the mountain.
Wow.
we have another castle. It's quite high,
Oh,
right?
wow, yeah.
400 meters approximately.